I reversed my PCOS symptoms in 4 months. Here's exactly what happened. I remember when I first started noticing my PCOS symptoms, and I'm sure many of you can relate, especially after going from doctor visit to doctor visit, trying to figure out what was happening, what was causing these symptoms, from the weight gain that felt like it was happening overnight, the acne that would never go away, the hair growth all over my face, the consistent fatigue. Oh my goodness, I could fall asleep while we were having a conversation, even though I had 5 cups of coffee, an energy drink, an energy supplement, and 8 to 10 hours of sleep. It was so horrible. I was constantly bloated. I was so inflamed. I literally felt miserable. And I literally thought I was going to go insane if one more doctor told me my labs look normal and I should just go and lose some weight and come back when I wanted to get pregnant. Now, when I got my first set of blood work done, I immediately noticed something my doctors were avoiding. All 4. My insulin levels were through the roof. My testosterone levels were extremely elevated. I had high prolactin levels. My vitamin D was so low, and my cholesterol levels were very high. And for someone who has always been around 110 pounds majority of my life, extremely healthy, always meal prepping, working out, I was a dancer most of my life, I was extremely active, very skinny, yet none of those aspects of my labs were considered abnormal for my doctors to bring up a conversation to figure out what should we do. Now, I'm not saying every medical professional or every doctor is bad. Maybe it was just me, I was dealt a bad hand, but I have heard countless stories from so many women who are now my clients, and they've had very similar experiences. After looking at my blood work, I was convinced, completely convinced, and still am today, that lifestyle and nutrition changes were the #1 way that was going to change everything on my blood work and help me lose the weight. And just because the plan that I was following at the time was healthy, it just was not healthy for PCOS. So for example, my macro split of what I was eating was not aligned for PCOS. I was significantly under eating, and I was eating too much of certain macronutrients, making my symptoms that much worse. Secondly, I was doing a lot of higher intensity exercises because I thought naturally as you gain weight, I needed to do a little bit more in the gym to lose that weight, get rid of that body fat, and that was doing the literal exact opposite. So Hubs and I put together a week-to-week protocol that is designed specifically for my hormones, not just a calorie deficit, but for my hormones. Understanding that there was going to be a phase in which I was going to focus specifically on weight loss, then there was going to be a phase in which I focused on just maintaining that weight loss, even though it wasn't my full goal yet, but I wanted to just give my body a break. And then after that break was over, I can go back and do another fat loss phase to just make sure my metabolism is reignited, my hormones are happy, and my insulin resistance is lowered. Literally within 4 months of following this protocol, all of my symptoms were gone. I lost well over 20 pounds and 10 inches off of my waist. My cycle was perfectly regulated, 28 days on the dot, pain-free, no issues, no more cystic acne. Yes, I still had to deal with some hyperpigmentation, but that has gotten better over time. But during those 4 months, my body, I didn't even need coffee. I was sleeping the best I ever had. I had more energy throughout the day. And coming from someone who literally has relied on coffee, I think since she came out of the womb, this was such a transformative change for me because I could finally wake up in the morning, feel rested, and not feel like a total zombie all day long. It breaks my heart because so many women have shared a similar experience with me of being ignored by their doctors, being pushed to different dietitians and nutritionists to follow some random crazy extreme diet and never seeing any results. In fact, they end up feeling worse till they start working with me, and like clockwork, they're losing 1 to 2 pounds every single week. They're finally able to get their period back after not having them without having to rely on medication. They're sleeping through the night. They're waking up, literally jumping out of their bed before their alarm. They can focus at work. They feel incredible throughout the day. They're losing weight. Their waist is getting smaller. Their butt is getting bigger. They're ovulating for the first time. Many of them have gotten pregnant after trying for so many years, all by just adjusting their nutrition. I don't like to call it a diet because I think that word has such a weird connotation, but truly, when you feed your body and feed your hormones, it is incredible to see what will happen just within a few weeks. You will start to see your body change. And I know you're probably watching this thinking, oh, good for her, it worked for her. I don't know if it'll work for me. I'm only sharing this to tell you that yes, there is hope if you get the help that your body needs. It's a process. I get it. It's gonna require some work. Yep, Absolutely. But if you follow the right plan for your body that's custom to your lifestyle, the foods that you like eating, sustainable adjustments to your day-to-day, I promise you it speeds up the process so much and it does not feel like a task every single day. And just within a few months, you could literally see your body transform. So if you want my help with losing that hormonal weight, reversing your symptoms, regulating your cycle, improving your fertility, then I highly recommend apply for our 101 coaching.